Hi guys, I did a video several months ago, August 10th, announcing the launch of new Guerlain Extrait de Parfum fragrances. Well, guess what? They are now launching. They're actually launched in France, and they are on the Guerlain France or French website. And there are 6 of them that I'm going to talk to you about today, let you know what my thoughts are on them without smelling them, and if I'm curious to smell them. So find out all about the new Guerlain Extraits, which are part of the L'Art et la Matière collection of fragrances, coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian. Are you guys anticipating these fragrances? Well, we have a lot more details now, and of course, as I said, they are now available to buy in France. So I'm hoping I get a chance to sample these on my next travels that I'm going to do. I'm not sure if they're going to be available in Dubai where I'm headed. I'll probably be there by the time this video airs. Most likely I'll be there. But I'm excited to try these, but I'm a bit cautious because they're overly expensive. 50 ml bottles, 550 euros. So this is not even the dollar price yet. Extrait de Parfum concentration, of course. And there are 6 of them that are launching. So they're actually launching an Extrait de Parfum Tonka bean fragrance. And I believe there's also another Guerlain L'Art et la Matière regular collection fragrance Tonka bean fragrance launching as well. So we've got a Extrait de Parfum of it in this collection, and I believe by the end of the year there's going to be another L'Art et la Matière in the Eau de Parfum collection of a fragrance focused on Tonka beans. But in this video I'm going to talk to you about these extracts that are out now in France. Hopefully they're going to make their way out here in the States very soon. But we're going to start off with the first one. I'm going in alphabetical order. So the first one is Bergamot Fantastico Extrait 11. So this is the first time Guerlain's doing any kind of extracts in their fragrances. No, that's not the first time. There are extracts, or there have been extracts available of a lot of their more popular fragrances. But this is the first time, I believe the first time, there are extracts in the L'Art et la Matière collection. And if you don't know this collection, this has been Guerlain's upper scale luxury collection of fragrances, which includes fragrances like Tonka Imperial, Spirituous Double Vanille, Angelique Noir, Bois d'Harmonie, and so on and so on and so on. So there's been a lot of fragrances that have come and gone, and the fragrances were recently moved into a very beautiful collection of bottles. Prices have gone up. Makes sense that now they have this uniform collection of beautiful bottles and packaging. They're going to launch extracts of different fragrances as well. So the first one is Bergamot Fantastico Extrait 11, created by Delphine, Jelk, and Thierry. So all the fragrances are created by these 2 perfumers. So the Bergamot I'm not so excited about, especially for the price point. Bergamot is Bergamot. It's a citrus. And some people like Bergamot a lot. And of course I do enjoy it, but $550, well, it's going to be more expensive here in the States, but 550 euros is quite pricey for an Extrait de Parfum of a bergamot fragrance. But it has notes of amber, bergamot leaves, Calabrian bergamot, Guaiac wood. Seems like it's going to go into an amber woody direction on its dry down. So it's going to be bitter green and also citrus fresh up top, with the bergamot leaves and the Calabrian bergamot, which basically we're focusing on the bergamot fruit with the actual citrus fruit, and of course the leaves as well, rather than bitter orange leaves like Petitgrain. So I'm curious to smell it. I mean, if it's going to be like a wow fragrance, oh my god, that's the best fragrance I've ever smelled kind of a thing, yeah, I might end up getting it. But this one is probably my least favorite, although there is a Jasmin that's in this collection as well that's probably less interesting than Bergamot. But Jasmin, I would pay the price versus Bergamot, if that makes sense. So never say never. But I'm curious to get my nose on the bergamot because I do enjoy bergamot. Bergamot is a unique citrus fruit that's typically found in a lot of citrus fragrances. I'm sorry, not even citrus, a lot of all kinds of fragrances. Typically as the top note. But the star, if it's the star note in a fragrance, they could do great things with it. And I've smelled several bergamot-focused fragrances that are really, really to die for delicious. But sometimes they don't last a long time. We'll see. We'll see Bergamot Fantastico Extrait 11, how it is. And I like the fact that they're using numbers in these fragrances. So now we've got a lot of different brands using numbers in fragrances, the names I mean. And so we'll see how Bergamot Fantastico Extrait 11 is. But the next one is called Iris Pallida Extrait 6. Once again created by Delphine, Jelk, and Thierry. Seems like these two perfumers are working together a lot in creating Guerlain fragrances, and sometimes they handle different responsibilities and create fragrances individually. But I've smelled some great things from Delphine Jelk, and I've smelled a few things that I don't care that she's created. So we shall see how the collection has turned out to be. But I definitely enjoy Thierry Wasser's collections, most of them, not all of them, and I'm hoping these are going to be great. And I like the idea of the Iris Pallida extrait. I love iris in fragrances, and especially the direction of this particular one, the way they're taking this fragrance. I'm really, really looking forward to this one. So they have Iris Torrefi in the main L'Art et la Matière collection. They don't have a Bergamot in that main collection. So Iris is more interesting for me. It fits the collection more. The Bergamot not so much. But this one features notes of almonds, Iris Pallida, musk, sandalwood, white suede. So we're going into a leathery direction with this Iris, and I like this. I like the idea of leather and iris together. Really great, especially if it has some sweetness, some gourmandish touches. This one does the almonds. And then of course it's got the sandalwood and also the musk. So it's going to go a little musky, and hopefully the sandalwood is on the creamy side, because sometimes you know, when they go into that kind of dry side of sandalwood, it kind of not so exciting for me. So this one I'm really, really looking forward to. I really enjoy Iris Torrefi. It does have a bit of a DHI, kind of a DNA, DHI, DHP, like Dior Intense Dior Parfum, the Iris Torrefi that's currently in the L'Art et la Matière collection, but we'll see what direction this one goes in, and if it's going to be great or not. It doesn't sound like it's going to smell like Iris Torrefi. Iris Torrefi has that coffee note in it. Of course, it does have leather, but it has that coffee note. So we shall see if this is really different than that or somewhat similar to that. The only way we're going to find out is if we smell it. But so far, I've spoken about the Bergamot and the Iris Pallida. Which one sounds the best to you guys? Let me know. It's Bergamot Fantastico Extrait 11, Iris Pallida Extrait 6. Soon to drop here, I'm hoping. Very, very soon. I have a feeling these fragrances are going to be around $650 when they eventually come to the States. Maybe $600, because the pricing difference is not too much nowadays, but sometimes they are with certain fragrances and others. So I think these are going to be around 600 something, somewhere around that ballpark when they land. So quite pricey. All right, next fragrance is Jasmin Grandiflorum Extrait 30. So once again, same perfumers, Delphine Jelk and also Thierry Wasser. So this one's my least exciting. I'm excited for the Bergamot, but Bergamot is not something I would pay a lot of money for. Jasmin, I like Jasmin, and sometimes I dismiss Jasmin, and I go to a Jasmin fragrance, and I'm like, wow, that's wonderful smelling Jasmin fragrance. But on paper, Jasmin doesn't sound as exciting to me as in real life smelling it. So this could be that I'm not excited for it now, but when I put my nose on it, I'm like totally impressed by it. We shall see. But the notes are Jasminum, Grandiflorum, CO2, Sandalwood, Strawberries. Strawberries, are they going to be the new cherry? I don't know. We shall see. But I'm seeing strawberries pop up here and there, but strawberries really don't take center stage in fragrances, at least as of yet not. Maybe in the near future they will be. Tom Ford might be working on one. It'll be the next cherry. No, I don't know. I'm just saying that. But this seems like the strawberries are going to be not necessarily intense here. And this fragrance is mostly going to be about the jasmine and the sandalwood with a little hint of the fruitiness from the jasmine. Is the jasmine going to be the indolic kind where it can get really animalic and fecal smelling? Or is it just going to be the lush, beautiful, white floral variety where it doesn't have any of that funk going with it? We shall see. I have a feeling, since it's an extract, and mostly the extracts are for perfume connoisseurs, but I have a feeling it might be a nice balance of the animalics and then also, you know, the fresh floral variety of jasmine. Again, this one's my least exciting up to this point of the three fragrances I've discussed. And again, as I said, I'll probably come back to it and say, oh man, this smells great, but we shall see. So far, the Iris is what I would go for the first if it's only these three fragrances, then the Bergamot, then the Jasmin. But moving on to the next fragrance, it's Rose CENTIFOLIA Extrait 1. Once again, Thierry Wasser and Delphine Jelk have created this one. And then there's a Rose Barbar in the collection of L'Art et la Matière fragrances created by Francis Kurkdjian of all perfumers. I do enjoy that fragrance, but I never personally have bought it. And they also have a few other, they have a few other rose fragrances, and I can't remember the exact name for them because I like them. I just don't think they're worth owning. So I don't have them, so I didn't keep track of them, but they have a few others. So it's a given that they would come up with an extrait de parfum version of a rose in this new collection of extracts fragrances. So the Rose Centifolia Extrait 1 features notes of frankincense, grass rose absolute, patchouli. So they're only listing a few notes for these fragrances, and we're just going to have to get our nose on them to kind of fully experience what the fragrances are all about. But it's got earthy notes, it's got resinous, smoky notes, and then it's got, of course, the grass rose, Rose Centifolia, that is probably most likely the star of the fragrance, especially since it's called Rose Centifolia Extrait 1. I like the idea of combining rose and patchouli together. It's a match made in heaven, just like rose and oud. I love rose and patchouli together. The frankincense is worrying me a little bit on this one, but it can be done in a way that it actually, accentuates the rose somehow to give it a little more depth, add some smokiness, maybe taking it into a bit of a Middle Eastern direction. But sometimes I would like to see some things like saffron thrown in there, because saffron and rose really do go wonderfully together, but this one seems like it's going into a different direction. We shall see how it is. It could be floral for sure, rose and flowers. It could be smoky with the frankincense, resinous for sure, and of course earthy woodiness from that patchouli. So I'm looking forward to smelling this one. Not so exciting for me, but definitely want to get my nose on it because Guerlain definitely does do some good work with roses. But the next two fragrances I'm really excited for. So the ones I'm really excited for are Iris, Tonka, and Vanille. The Bergamot comes next, the Rose comes next, and then Jasmine comes after that. But again, with that Bergamot, is it worth paying that much money for a Bergamot fragrance? Only if it smells like out of this world amazing. But Tonka SARRAPIA Extrait 75 sounds really, really great. I love expensive, luxurious smelling Tonka fragrances that Guerlain is known for. They do some great work with Tonka and vanilla, and this one sounds super delicious. It's bitter almond, cocoa, coumarin, spices, Tonka beans, and vanilla. So really, really wonderful offering here with this one. It's a gourmand with Tonka, and in an extrait de parfum concentration, I think this will be really, really luxurious. I'm hoping it's syrupy, sweet, sticky, and gooey, and not dry. It's definitely going to be powdery and nutty here, but I'm hoping that it's that kind of syrupy stuff. Because for me, dry fragrances, I enjoy, but I like them sticky, more like ambery, wet, syrupy kind of fragrances more, because they do stay longer on my skin compared to dry ones that fizzle away faster. But this one's going to have the chocolatey touches, the nutty touches, almonds and spices and vanilla, the bitterness from the Tonka, and of course the coumarin, which is from the Tonka beans. So this one's a Tonka bean tribute to Tonka, with the Tonka as well as the coumarin. And so this one's quite exciting for me, and I'm really, really looking forward to Tonka SARRAPIA Extrait 75. So if any of you's got your noses on these yet, do put a comment down, let us know. I know I said these are on the Guerlain.fr website, so most likely they're at the stores in Paris or any Guerlain boutiques there are in France. So I'm sure some of you are watching from there, so let us know what you think about these fragrances by adding a comment down below. And the last one that I'm going to talk to you about is Vanille Plantifolia Extrait 21. So I would rank Tonka, Iris, then vanilla, even though vanilla is my second favorite note of all time. Love, love, love vanilla next to patchouli as number one. I think the Tonka and Iris are sounding a little more exciting than the vanilla. The Vanille Plantifolia Extrait 21 features notes of amber, musk, spicy notes, and vanilla. Sure, on paper it doesn't sound as exciting as the Tonka and the Iris, but it's all about getting it to my nose and smelling these fragrances. And once I smell them, I'll decide, okay, yeah, I thought this was going to not be good, but when I smell it, it's really great. But of course, it's going to be warm, and it's going to be vanillic, it's going to be spicy, and of course ambery. But then you also have musk in there, which is going to add the musky layer. And then of course, all of these notes will go powdery and create a balsamic quality to the fragrance. Who knows? It's going to be great. And of course, they're going to do a vanilla because they already have multiple vanillic fragrances in the Art et la Matière collection of fragrances. So it's definitely a given that they're going to do a vanilla, and of course the Tonka, and then of course the Iris. Those three are some of my favorite notes, and Guerlain does them well. And of course, if you have been following Guerlain, Guerlain launched in 21 a Shalimar, a vanillic take on Shalimar. Was the Shalimar Millésime Vanille or Vanilla, which I never got my nose on or my hands on one. Last year they did the Shalimar Millésime Tonka, and of course I really love that version of it. Somebody told me that the vanilla was a bit too sweet. I don't know, I can't judge by their opinion, but sadly I never got my nose on it. And this year they did the Iris, and the Iris was very modernized. So it's a given that they're focusing on these really great notes that they really know how to work with. And again, out of all the extracts, it's the Tonka, it's the Iris, and then it's the vanilla that I'm really looking forward to. So what are you guys looking forward to when it comes to these extracts of Guerlains? Should be launching very soon in the States, hopefully. They're launched in France. Of course, as I said, they are on the French Guerlain website, guerlain.fr. You can go look them up and see all of them over there. And yeah, so hopefully as soon as I get my nose on them, I can report back on these fragrances. But if you have gotten your nose on them, do let me know what your thoughts are on these fragrances. Again, going back to that whole sweet thing, somebody told me the Shalimar Millésime Vanille was way too sweet. But I also heard the same thing about the tobacco honey or honey tobacco from Guerlain's L'Art et la Matière collection. I didn't think it was too sweet. I felt like it was really great. I'm still waiting for my bottle of that. But it's all subjective. People say it's sweet, but then it's sweet for them, but it's not sweet for this other person. I think the tobacco honey is really delicious. In fact, I really like it a lot more than Tobacco Color from Dior. So can't wait to report on that one, but we'll see once it comes. But either way, guys, those are my thoughts today on these new extracts fragrances from Guerlain. Let me know what your thoughts are on these. Do let me know about the price. Again, 550 euros in the French website. Most likely it's going to be somewhere in the $600 here, but we shall see once they land. But if you've gotten your nose on them, put a comment down below. Other than that, thanks so much for watching. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. And just to give you a little more information, I mentioned it briefly in the main video. There is a new L'Art et la Matière collection fragrance launching from Guerlain sometime within the end of the year called Fève Tabou. Now, from what I've been hearing online, it's a re-release of Gourmand Coquin from Guerlain, which used to be in a different collection. As I've been noticing, Guerlain's combining all the collections, or actually what they're doing is pulling from all the different collections and putting them all into the L'Art et la Matière collection to have one consistent collection, which makes more sense rather than having 12,000 different collections of fragrances. What they're doing is, I think, definitely great. And to bring back this wonderful, delicious fragrance called, Gourmand Coquin, which is one of my favorite kind of strawberry-ish chocolate fragrance, but is it really Fève Tabou? Is that really a re-release of Gourmand Coquin? Because that's what I'm hearing online and at various places, but I'm not really sure because I didn't recall Gourmand Coquin to be a Fève or Fève as in bean. Fève Tonka is what they call it. So Fève, I believe, is bean in French. So Tonka bean. I didn't realize that Gourmand Coquin was a Tonka bean prominent fragrance. At least I don't remember it was. Mostly about chocolate and some fruitiness like raspberry or strawberry or something. More like raspberry, I think. But we'll see. It's a fragrance called Fève Tabou going into the L'Art et la Matière collection. I'm really looking forward to this. There's no images or anything online, but it's supposedly launching in December. But who knows? It's coming right up around the corner. And again, it was so disappointing that they discontinued the fragrance Gourmand Coquin. I spoke about it quite a bit. It was a really delicious smelling gourmand, almost like a Valentine special fragrance because it had, this, it almost, smelled like you were biting into these really delicious chocolate things with like fruits inside of them, like raspberry with a little bit of a liqueur vibe, and it was basically in a perfume form. So I don't understand if that's what it's going to be with this, but there is a new fragrance launching from Guerlain in the Métier collection in the Eau de Parfum, not the extracts like I discussed earlier, and it's called Fève Tabou, which is a re-release of Gourmand Coquin. So if you have any information on this, you've smelled it or something, do put a comment down below so we can find out, because I am really anticipating this one, and we'll see what it's all about. And I'm hoping it's not going to be, well, you know, I'm hoping it's not going to be like Fève Delicious from Dior, which got discontinued, and they're bringing it in here. So is it a re-release of Gourmand Coquin? Oh, who knows? We'll see. Anyway, that's just a little more information on more upcoming releases from Guerlain's L'Art et la Métier collection. And as I said, if you have any info, please put a comment down below, and see you guys later. Bye.